From the inner sense of time comes the ancient poet's rhyme, bringing us the master key to open up the mystery. From the depth of time and space, we arrive in quiet grace, finding what is meant to be as we explore the mystery, pouring forth from days gone by. We can hear the poet sigh from the depth of ecstasy, moving into mystery. Hello and welcome again to Creative Connections. I'm your host, Gary Blanchard, and today my guest is jewelry maker Timothy Patenaude.
Hello.
So, what got you into making jewelry?
So I just wanted, I'm a crafty person, and I just wanted an outlet to just, put my creativity into something. And I think when I went to Michael's, I was doing, shopping around with my mom one day, and as a little kid who liked crafts but wasn't sure what he wanted to do, I buzzed around all the aisles, and the minute I hit the bead aisle with all the shiny crystals and stuff, I think the ADHD in me, just went crazy with all the lights and all the sparkles and everything like that. I'm like, this is it. This is what I want to do.
Okay, how old were you at the time?
Oh my God, I think I was 11 years old. I've actually been making jewelry since I was 13. I used to go by a different business name when I kind of reintroduced my business. I had a period of time where I just made them for gifts, for Christmas, birthdays. Mm-hmm. But then I reintroduced the business side of it because I enjoyed that, like in craft fairs and whatnot. So I came under a different alias, which is My Ringistic Elegance.
Okay.
But I used to be named Heavenly Jewelers back in the day, and I was at Summerfest. There's, wish I had a picture to show you, but I don't even know where it is at this rate. But it was when I was 13 at my booth right in front of Munson Savings Bank down on Summerfest. Me smiling with all my jewelry everywhere.
All right.
Yeah, it was fun.
So yeah, you've been at this for a while.
Yeah.
So when you're making something,
Mm-hmm.
how do you decide which direction to go, what to?
So there's not really a rule of thumb when you're making, like, say, a bracelet. Like with, you have the beading wire in the bracelet. I personally like to make it with when I do a bar and toggle, I do the circle first and then I end it with the toggle. That's just a personal preference. If you start with the bar and end with the circle, it's not going to make a difference. They both go together at the end. But for me, I kind of look at some beads, to decide my design. I look at some beads I know I want to, I look at color schemes and what colors go really well together and what I'm trying to accomplish. If it's not a custom order and it's just a piece I'm making, just for like the creativity part of it, I try to really, dive into colors. All right, if we're in the summer, I want to use brighter colors, using the color wheel to your advantage, the blue and orange. You'd be surprised on how pretty that looks on a bracelet, even though they're complete opposite colors.
Okay, yeah. So you've brought a lot of things with you. Let's start with some of the necklaces that you brought.
Okay, so this is a really great story, this piece right here. I love this piece. I'll just bring it into view. But for me, this piece was one of the most fun to make because I had this big container of beads, like a Tupperware soup container, and of like random just mismatched, misended beads, right? And I was looking for inspiration. I needed to make a necklace for, one of my shows coming up. And so I literally I took the top off, a little twisty circle top, and I shook out some beads, and what came out were all of these beads here. And I just fell in love so much with it. Yeah. That I just was like, oh my gosh, if this isn't a sign, here it is, Now it is.
Yeah, sort of a copper.
Yeah, it's so these are all so this is a raw turquoise and these are sea glass here. These are
Okay.
different types of amethyst. So there's polished amethyst which gives it a little shine, and then there's raw amethyst that gives it that more mellow. And then these are all freshwater pearls here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's a double-stranded necklace that, just really goes together nicely. I like it because it kind of doesn't follow the rules and with colors. And it's very random yet super pretty.
Yeah, and unlike walking into a department store,
Right.
what people are getting when they buy your jewelry is a one-of-a-kind
Yeah.
piece.
There's nothing, I'm not machine making these. There's no conveyor belt, there's no employees, there's none of that. Each piece is hand strung, each bead individually crimped and put together personally by me. And which is why it's fun, because I enjoy making it, but I enjoy seeing people really enjoy my jewelry.
Yeah, and I think that's the advantage of doing the craft shows,
Yes.
because you get to see people's reactions.
Yeah. Oh, especially, one of the craft shows I was at last year, my rings specifically, the little girls were going crazy over them. They thought they were the coolest thing. And it was like so nice to have even the youth appreciate the art. And that goes with it. Like, no, this isn't just one of those stupid rings,
Yeah.
Kitty or whatever the name they, say to
Yeah.
each other. This is like handmade. So they were trying to say these are bougie rings to their friends, and it was really, really funny. And it
Yeah.
was but just appreciating the art behind it instead of just looking at
Yeah.
it that for what a matter of fact for what it is. It's a ring.
Right. So something like this, how much time goes into it?
So this actually took. So necklaces take a little bit longer, especially if they're all beads like this. This one took me about probably an hour to make, because in the process of stringing the beads, even though this one doesn't follow rules per se, if it doesn't look right to me, if something's off, I will unstring parts of it and restring it in a different direction until I get that, okay, this is it.
Okay,
You
so
kind of have this eye and you have this view and you're just looking at it and you're like, I don't like this, something's up. And then I take it off and I restring it a different way, like, yeah, that's better. That's what I want.
okay, so it's really you sort of have an instinct
Yeah.
for, okay, this is working, this is not.
Right, size, colors, just different things.
Yeah. Yeah, so this necklace here in the front.
Yeah. So this one was fun to make as well. This one actually uses some of the same pearls in this one.
Okay.
A few different ones, but these pearls right here, the darker ones, they're actually came in a big bundle and strand. And so what I did is I ended up stringing them in a zigzag formation here, like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So they come out almost like a tree, if you think, or a zigzag. I call it a zigzag because the way they're drilled, they can do that if you string it appropriately. And basically what you have to do is you have to keep them, this one's actually, it's hard to see, but this is a 3-stranded necklace. So there is freshwater pearls that are also side drilled, which give it that very nice asymmetrical artistic approach to it.
Right.
And I have these pearls have a sheen of a reddish sheen and a greenish orange sheen. So what I did is I matched it with those smaller pearls in the center, and I was gonna just do a short. I was thinking when I first made this necklace to make it a short and then a long, but then what happened is when I put the strand up to it, I was like, you know what, this would be really cool as like a cluster necklace.
Yeah.
Like something that goes up and just really, does, it does itself justice the way it is. And that was those are the kind of decisions you don't know it until you try it kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. Now, people might look at these and say, oh, these are beautiful, but can I afford it?
And that is so true. And the best part about my stuff is that I actually go all over the place. I don't just go to Michael's. I don't just go to Joann's and all the local craft stores to get my materials. I outsource until I can find it as cheap as I can, wholesale, bulk, because what that allows me to do is not only get more for less, but my prices aren't competitive with everybody else's. I don't have to try to sell my bracelets for $35, $45, which is what people do with Swarovski crystals. I end up selling my bracelets anywhere from 20 or even cheaper, depending on, you know, the clasps and the beads, from, I think, my magnetic bracelet starting at 15 and then all the way up to 25 is the most expensive. Sometimes custom orders, if I have to order in special charms and whatnot,
Right.
will add to that, but the base prices usually stay the same. Even like something like any of these, even like seasonal holiday special ones, as long as they're not, if they're made by me and they're part of a collection, they're 25, and that's $20 cheaper, or at least $10 cheaper than, you know, what my competitors are typically doing.
That's great.
And it makes it so nice, and I really, you know, give my all. Into each piece. Each piece is, like I said, designed with so much care to detail and attention. You know, it's hard to see unless like you were to actually really take like a bracelet and look at it this is like a communion bracelet and an Easter one at the same time. So, but if you were to look at it, there's little tiny crystals. There's tiny silver beads that go in between to space out the crystals that the general eye might not see right away unless it's pointed out to them.
Right.
And they look at that and they're like, oh, that's pretty. It really shines. But the thing is, why it's pretty, why it shines, is not only because it's Swarovski crystals, but it's because those spacers, those little beads in between, are able to space out the crystals so they're not all kind of, you know, on top of each other. And they're given their own stage, in a sense.
Okay.
So, and this one was more, like I said, a communion Easter, because I had the cross on it, so it's for those kind of people. But I have a bunch of different styles for summer, for, you know, anything really.
And you will also do custom work for people.
I've done some crazy customs, and I think the custom orders are really, really fun for me. Because not only do I enjoy making them in general, but the custom jewelry is like, where you get these crazy requests. And it's just like, you're like, all right, I'm making this for someone because it's either meaningful in some sort of way. I had a lady actually come into Just a Little Craft Store, which is where I sell my jewelry primarily at, in addition to craft fairs, but they're like a store that's open. And I had this lady, and she's like, all right, well, my late husband had a obsession with baseball. We used to go to these games out in, I believe it was Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. It could be wrong, but it was, and the Owls were the team name. So, and his favorite color was baby blue, and he liked baseball. She liked sewing and crafts. So she wanted a bracelet for herself that encapsulated all of those memories.
Oh, that's neat.
So basically, on a piece of paper, I'm getting owls, baby blue, baseball, sewing, and you're like, whoa, all those things don't go together. But that's fun for me because that's very specific to one individual. You know that's going to mean a lot to somebody. And I ended up making it. She opened it up, and I wish you could get like a recorded reaction. But she opened it up and she's like, oh my God, this is stunning. And this is exactly what I wanted.
That's got to be a really good feeling.
It is. And it's really nice because it's like, it's fun to create something like that for somebody else.
So I'm just curious, how did you manage to blend all those things?
So I will have to post a picture on my Facebook. So I'm also on Facebook, Ringistic Elegance. But I will post a picture, but it was interesting. So I started off with the baby blues from the toggle. So if you would look at a bracelet like this, I started here. Oops. Oh, and now it doesn't want to stay, right? There you go. You stay. All right, so now it's doing, I started here, baby blues, and then when I got around to where these clear ones are, I put 2 big acrylic baseball beads that I made.
Okay.
And then from there, I did another baby blue crystal, and then I did some of the owl beads coming up here, and then I tied it all together with a couple more baby blues, and then instead of obviously this cross charm, I put a pair of, like a scissors charm for sewing.
Okay.
And a thimble.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, so it was really something, and it was really cool and really fun to make. So hopefully this stays. If it doesn't, then it's going to just be on the ground.
Yeah. You also brought something Uh,
Yep.
we are coming up to graduation
Yes.
time, and you have a new thing
Yes.
you're doing.
So this is a new collection that I'm working on. It's called my graduation collection, and it's actually on my Facebook page. You can see that as well as my Instagram page. Also shop at Just a Little Craft Store. But anyway, for our locals, this is Wear High's colors. So I have the Wear High, Indians, I believe that's what they are, and these little, it's hard to see them, but they're the green and the white, which is their color. But on the bottom here is a little 2022 charm. And so it's for those people that kind of, want something special and personalized. This is just basic, as in it's the basic general run of the mill, but I can also really customize these things like a charm with someone's name, a letter
Okay.
charm, or like a sport. If someone does a sport, I can mix that into the media, but this one's just basic, generic. This one here is the bracelet. So it actually includes that same 2022 charm bead.
Actually, if you can hold it up.
Oh, is it working?
Yeah.
I held it up. Perfect. So if you see it, it's a 2022 bead right here.
Okay.
And it's a graduation cap
Ah,
with a little diploma underneath the cap and a little tassel coming from the.
oh, that's neat.
So it's really, really something. Yeah, and I, special ordered those charms for this graduation because I figured, you know what? Everyone's really happy
Yeah,
to graduate. It's a big accomplishment. Many people don't.
yeah,
So having something like this that's pretty that you can wear on your graduation or for, afterward just to remember, like, what you did. You did something great,
right.
something amazing, and you deserve to kind of feel good about yourself for that.
Absolutely.
So I figured I'd, make. Also, I'm kind of impartial to high school graduation because I'm a high school math teacher. So
Okay.
that's my main job. This is my side stuff.
And you also have a ring?
Yes. So for the wear community, I'm having it's a little ring and it has 3 little Swarovski crystals, little small ones here, and it's wire wrapped around its base. So that way, if you hit it against something, you don't have to worry about the crystals breaking or the ring breaking because it's hard to see, but there's detail. I wrapped it around itself. So when the pressure is, you hit it on something, the pressure goes against your finger and not against the actual ring itself.
Ah,
So it doesn't bang up, bend, and it's all non-tarnished sterling, silver-plated, German wire, a bunch of different kind of odes to keep it really shiny. It's also good for people with sensitive, skin types, ears and whatnot. All my earrings are made with the same kind of wire, so they can, those people that are afraid of, I can only wear real gold or sterling silver because my ears, they'll get all green. And
Yeah.
I said, well, you don't have to worry about that because what happens is it's the reaction in your body to nickel. Nickel is the big metal that it's in a lot of those cheap metals to give it that grit and that hardened kind of aspect. So,
Okay.
and that's what people don't like are your body.
Yeah.
Some people get
Yeah.
really, really, some people can tolerate it and it's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
And then other people really have a hard time with it. So I was like, well, I want to make my jewelry for everyone. So those people that don't have a hard time with nickel, great. I'm still going to use the sensitive ones because they're not going to care.
right.
But then that person that wants that specific pair of earrings, if I make a nickel collection and a nickel-free collection,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where I want to make it accessible to everybody.
That's wonderful. And you are using now materials other than just beads, right?
Yeah. So let's see here. So I use some charms. So I have been hand making charms lately. So these ones are actually all bought, but this gives you a little, very shiny, obviously. This is the 4th of July Memorial Day piece I made. And it actually, in addition to the crystals that you see here in the star beads, you get these little clay beads here. And those are beads that are actual clay beads, hardened, and then are basically little small Swarovski flat black crystals are poked into it
Oh, wow.
to give it this disco ball little look, which is why you can see that every single one they can make it all the same color or striped or anything. So yeah, so I have a couple of these in red, white, and blue, and I have some for Christmas that's red, white, and green, which really kind of gives the festivities for that time of year, and it really brings together a nice piece. Like, someone love this for the holidays,
Sure,
because
sure.
you can wear it Memorial Day. You can wear it for 4th of July. You can wear it for Veterans Day if you want, or any sort of ode to America.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what are these other earrings that you have?
Right here?
Yeah.
Oh, these are fun. So, these are wooden earrings. These are made from walnut wood. So, they're veneer wood, so it's very, very thin wood, but it's actual, if you were able to feel it, it is actually real wood. So,
Oh, wow.
so you can actually see
Yeah.
that it's real wood. And what I do is I have a machine, which I'm sure many people are familiar with, called a Cricut.
Okay.
And the Cricut maker, you have to have a specific machine, can input any design and cut any design you want. So what I did is I went into my software and I created this design with a bunch of different shapes. So I took triangles and I kept overlaying them. I took a square, so you can, if you look close enough, it's hard to see. It's kind of very kaleidoscopic in a sense, but there's a square, some triangles, circles, and a big circle, and I just kept overlapping the images until I got this really cool design.
Okay.
And then what I told my Cricut to do is I told it to, basically not cut this part, not, and cut out so I could get this hollow, kind of almost like, bohemian, earthy, crunchy kind of earrings for those people that don't want all the bling.
Right.
So there's options for those people too.
And, it has like a very sort of almost Celtic type feel, and they're extremely light.
That's what's nice, is that it's not going to weigh your ear down, even though they're big.
Yeah.
So it's like for those people that like to wear the big earrings, but don't like their ears to sag so much because they're heavy. It's quite nice. I have a bunch of different patterns over at the craft store, but I have like monstera leaves and different other patterns that I handmade myself with, like I said, the same kind of thing. Where it was really fun to make them because it was on a computer. And you basically take these images and you just keep overlapping and making them smaller and bigger and stuff, and you kept overlapping until you get this really cool. This one reminds me kind of like a sun.
Yeah.
Inside, which is what I, kind of like about it. So it kind of has that, and with the wood, it gives it that nature, earthy, crunchy kind of feel.
And then you have other rings.
Yes. So these other rings here, like I said, this one was the one for Ware High School. But this one here is for either, you could choose Munson or Palmer High. So I tried to do all the local rings, and I'm going to be doing those into the bracelets as well. So if you don't see your ring or earring or bracelet and want one, you're more than welcome to stop in the craft store, follow me on Facebook, and I will get it to you. And I usually get back to you right away. So this one is Tantasqua.
Okay.
So Tantasqua has a light, kind of like a mix of these greens. So I kind of took both of the greens and then I have yellow. And like I said, this is Ware and or Minnechaug. If you're from Wilbraham, that area is also the same colors as Ware.
Okay.
Also a local school district near here is Eagle Hill School.
Okay.
Up in Hardwick. They are also clear and green, so that's pretty popular color. These ones here, this one is red, black, and white, and that kind of was for Quabog.
Okay.
So the Quabog Regional has like a dark burgundy, cranberry red, and gray. So I was like, well, clear and black to kind of give it that little, unique stuff. So all of these rings that I have here also have a matching pair of earrings at the craft store. And what I'm doing is, normally the earrings sell for 10 and the rings are always 8. But for people that want to do a nice little graduation gift for their, graduate or someone they know that's graduating, I'm running a special that they're 15 for the earrings and the ring together.
Okay.
So it's going to come with both. So it's saving them about $3. So instead of buying them.
And it would be, kind of a perfect
Yeah, it's something that's,
little graduation gift.
Yeah, it's something nice that they could have forever.
Yeah.
And it's something like an ode to, like I said, but it's also not going to break their bank. And that's what I really like about what I do, is I'm not trying to rip people off. I mean, of course, like any business, you're trying to make a profit.
Well, sure.
But at the same time, I want to fill the world with this jewelry. I love making it, and I love having people appreciate it. And then last but not least, Pathfinder. I didn't forget about them. So their colors are blue and gold. And they're hold a special place in my heart because that's where I actually started my practicum
Okay.
to learn how to be a math teacher. It was at Pathfinder.
Okay.
So these are the kind of rings that I have for those, and then I have also like I said, every ring you see here and more. There's earrings that go with them right at the craft store
Okay.
as well.
And with some of these other earrings that you have here.
All right, so this one, I love this pair. So spring, as we know, is coming around. So I made this pair, and this is a butterfly at the bottom. It's a 3-dimensional printed butterfly on metal. It's actually a die-cut metal. And
Okay.
it's kind of hard to see it.
If you can bring it down just a little bit. Okay,
Yeah.
now you're
Now
on
you can
camera.
see it? All right, perfect. So I kind of try to get some springy colors, like some greens and some lilac purples and violets. And then I had this little die-cut butterfly for those people that like butterflies. Some people aren't butterfly people. Some people love butterflies. And then, in my opinion, butterflies is kind of the beginning of spring. It's the metamorphosis of our Mother Nature.
Right.
We have finally survived yet another cold, cold winter and are on to the next one here. So that's what those ones are. Let's see. What else did I bring? Oh, so this is a collection. I believe I brought a bracelet as well to go with this collection. Let me just, to kind of highlight both. So this is an autism awareness. So the month of April is Autism Awareness Month, and it's for all those wonderful, wonderful humans that sometimes don't get appreciated.
Right.
And honestly, in my opinion, I keep hitting this mic. The autistic people have some of the smartest things about them. Like I learned so much things from autistic people. So my goal with this was to kind of not only show appreciation by having this collection, but I'm also taking 20% off for the month through the month of April. 20% off of everything I sell that has the autism. It's part of the autism collection is going to Pathway in Northampton, which is research and people that deal with autistic individuals of various ages, from small all the way to adults.
That's great. So your work is available at Just a Little Craft Store in Palmer?
Yes, it is.
And also they can find you on
Yes,
Facebook?
You can find the social media, Facebook. If you just look up, literally, I try not to make it too hard. It's just Ringistic Elegance. It's kind of a flared word I made up for the kind of flair I try to present myself with. But yeah, it's just ringistic.elegance on both Facebook and Instagram. I guess it has an @ringistic.elegance for the Instagram handle. But yeah, that's what they can find me. Custom orders, anything you want, please, I'm up for the challenge. I would love to make you something that is one of a kind, tailored to exactly what you want.
Timothy, thank you so much for coming in and sharing your wonderful work with us.
Yes.
And I want to thank you all for tuning in. And we'll see you again next time on Creative Connections. Life goes by so quickly, time just slips away, but tomorrow brings a brighter day. Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream. Tomorrow's even closer than it seems.